They moved into a quiet little town, a place where no one sleeps. And when she finally did, she was never seen again. Our story begins with Ryan and Mia, a young couple seeking solace in the tranquil embrace of a sleepy suburbia. But this wasn't your typical picture-perfect town. Oh no, this was Elkridge, a place where the sun seemed to shine a little too brightly and the silence was deafening. Ryan and Mia had moved here from the big city, hoping to escape the chaos and noise of urban life and to start anew in a quaint little town that was nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering trees. It was love at first sight. The moment they had laid their eyes on the charming town, they knew they had found their sanctuary. White picket fences lined the streets, manicured lawns stretched out like green carpets, and the houses seemed to wear smiles like welcoming hosts. The town exuded a sense of community, a feeling of belonging that had been foreign to Ryan and Mia in the anonymity of the bustling city. Their new home was a testament to the town's allure. A cozy cottage with a porch swing, it was the epitome of small-town charm. Stepping inside, they were greeted with a warm embrace of nostalgia. Gleaming hardwood floors whispered tales of laughter and joy. The kitchen was a chef's delight, and the living room beckoned with its crackling fireplace, promising cozy evenings filled with romance. Upstairs, the bedrooms were sanctuaries waiting to be filled with dreams. With every passing moment, Ryan and Mia felt their worries from the city melting away like frost under the morning sun. The tranquility of Eldridge enveloped them, promising a life of peace and contentment. But beneath the surface of this idyllic town, there lurked a secret, a chilling enigma that threatened to shatter the very fabric of their newfound happiness. A week into their stay in Eldridge, Ryan and Mia had fallen into the rhythm of small-town life. Mornings were spent exploring the nearby lake where the water shimmered under a canopy of stars. Evenings were filled with walks along the tree-lined streets as they marveled at the town's timeless beauty. But as the days turned into weeks, a disquieting feeling began to tug at Mia's heart. The town's unnerving stillness after sunset became a haunting melody that echoed in her ears. One evening, while sharing a cup of coffee with the enigmatic townsfolk at the local diner, Mia decided to break the silence. "So," she began, attempting a casual tone, "does anyone around here, sleep?" Her question hung in the air, met with an unsettling silence. The townsfolk at the diner exchanged uneasy glances, their eyes betraying a mixture of surprise and apprehension. After what seemed like an eternity, one of the townsfolk, an elderly woman with a kind face and eyes that twinkled with secrets, finally spoke up. "Sleep," she said, her voice a low murmur as if sharing a forbidden secret. "We don't speak of sleep here." Mia's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. Before she could press further, a discordant chime echoed through the diner, signaling closing time. The townsfolk rose abruptly, their faces etched with urgency, and hurried out, leaving Mia and Ryan with more questions than answers. Back at their cozy cottage, Mia couldn't shake off the eerie sensation that had crept into her life in Eldridge. Sleep, it seemed, was a forbidden topic, an unspoken taboo that cast a long shadow over the town. As the night deepened, the silence grew louder, punctuated only by the distant hoots of an owl or the rustling of leaves in the wind. Suddenly, the rhythmic chirping of crickets invaded her ears, a relentless chorus that mocked her growing unease. Mia tossed and turned in bed, her mind racing. Every creak of the old house, every shadow that danced on the wall seemed to whisper tales of Eldridge's hidden secrets. Sleep, it seemed, was a luxury she could not afford tonight. The next day, the weight of her sleepless night evident in her weary eyes, Mia found solace in the comforting routine of preparing breakfast for Ryan. They ate in companionable silence, each lost in their thoughts. As Ryan sipped his coffee, his gaze turned thoughtful. "Do you think we should ask around about last night?" he inquired, his voice laced with concern. Mia nodded, her eyes searching his. "Yes, but how? What do we say?" Suddenly, a loud crash from upstairs shattered the calm. Startled, They rushed to the second floor to find the source of the commotion. The bedroom window lay shattered on the floor, its glass remnants sparkling menacingly in the sunlight streaming through the opening. The curtains were torn, the bed sheets rumpled as if someone had been tossing and turning restlessly. And then Mia noticed something more. A faint yet pungent odor lingered in the air, reminiscent of ozone after a thunderstorm. Panic tightened its grip on her chest. Where was Ryan? Had he been taken? And if so, by whom and why? Desperate for answers, she raced downstairs and out into the street, calling out his name, her voice echoing in the eerie silence of the town. Her gaze fell upon the quaint local library, its windows promising a trove of untold stories. Entering the hallowed halls, she approached the weathered desk where an elderly librarian sat, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Excuse me," Mia began, her voice trembling slightly. "I was wondering if you might have any information about the town's history. It's just that we've noticed some peculiar things and we thought that maybe." The librarian's lips curved into a knowing smile. "Ah, yes, the history of Eldridge," she said, her voice a soft murmur that seemed to reverberate through the ages. "A fascinating tale indeed." After hours of poring over ancient texts, brittle with age, Mia and the librarian discovered a chilling truth. Eldridge was steeped in a dark secret that had echoed through the annals of time. Generations ago, the town had made a pact, a harrowing bargain with an entity from beyond the veil. In exchange for an existence free from the constraints of mortality, they had surrendered one of humanity's most precious gifts: sleep. Cut off from the restorative embrace of slumber, the townsfolk were condemned to walk the earth as living corpses, forever trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Mia's heart pounded in her chest, her mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what she had uncovered. The pieces of the puzzle started falling into place: the vacant eyes of the townsfolk, their unnatural stillness, even the musty odor that clung to them. They were all symptoms of a town wrestling with an otherworldly curse. With a sense of foreboding, she knew she had to warn Ryan. Sleep was not merely a nightly ritual for humans. It was a fundamental essence of their existence. But here in Eldridge, sleep was a luxury one could ill afford. For those who succumbed to its embrace were believed to cross over, leaving behind their mortal coils and becoming part of the ethereal realm. Upon hearing Mia's tale, Ryan's face drained of color, mirroring the ashen hues of the living dead that now inhabited Eldridge. Their idyllic dream had transformed into a nightmare, a waking hell from which there seemed to be no escape. Together, they devised a plan, a desperate gamble to break free from the clutches of Eldridge's eternal night. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from the ancient texts, they sought out the town's elders, hoping to unravel the enigma of their curse. But their quest for answers led them to a horrifying realization: there was no hope of escape. Trapped in a town where sleep was a forbidden dream, they were caught in a terrifying game of cat and mouse with the forces of darkness. And as the nights grew longer and the shadows deeper, they knew that sleep was their greatest enemy. One by one, they began to succumb to the whispers of oblivion, each closed eye inching them closer to the unknown. Was this the end of their story? Or would they find a way to awaken even in the heart of eternal night?